Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward. Chapter 29. Kane smiled thinly. It was a slight thing, only the barest twitching of his lips as he regarded the city in the distance. He had not believed the boy after first hearing him speak of it. It would be safer not to reveal how the map had simply ended here. He could have sworn the town would be over the next rise, but there had been nothing. Only empty sand greeted them when they had gotten a good look at the area. Kane cursed himself for not thinking to take more water. The horses would give out first. He had one water skin left. He had seen the boy drain his own not more than an hour gone. They would have another 2 hours, maybe 3. With luck, they would reach the walls of the city before the horses collapsed. Maybe he could send the boy scouting forward. But then he would have to wait, and the result would be the same. They needed to gamble and win to have a chance. They had no betting with them, and even if they somehow managed to last until sunset, they would freeze without protection out here in the open. Why hadn't he seen the city before? He had thought the boy mad from the heat at first. Maybe he had lost his own wits. It didn't matter now. Tucking the last precious water skin back in his pack, he looked ahead. His head swam in the heat. They would not make it. The boy had run out of water, hadn't he? No sense killing him then. Kane's mind started to weave in circles. Had he already pondered this course of action? No, of course not. He wavered in the saddle. He could see his own death looming above him. The shadows kept circling. Waves of sand flowed past them on either side. They had come to the base of another dune. Cresting the next one would give them a better view of the city. He would see it. Clenching his teeth, he forced himself forwards. He turned his hatred at the garments he had foolishly decided to wear. Sightless gods! Why hadn't he forgotten his pride and chosen something less dark? Heat suffused his thoughts. He wavered. The ground was moving towards him. What had happened, he wondered oddly. A sharp pain lurched him in his saddle. The ground stopped rising. His vision swam again, as he realized he had been caught by the boy. Not a boy. Eddie, that was his name, wasn't it? He watched as he was lifted back up into the saddle. He felt nausea rise in him, a sign of heat stroke without question. The boy, no, the young man, moved back to his horse without remarking. Kane could not underestimate him any further. To do so would be dangerous. He had told him never to trust anyone, least of all himself. Sitting there in the saddle, he weakly waved thanks towards Eddie. He must never know how I am weak, the voice cried out in Kane's mind, before he could force it to silence. Weakness. Yes, he could feel it there, like a forgotten lover. He must mask his weakness somehow. Outwardly, Kane just sat there, as the horses carried them forwards. If he had fallen, he would have not had the strength to stand. Inside, he laughed. The shadows circled over them, waiting.